You're not digesting food anymore. You're storing it. Layers of it, rotting, fermenting, stuck to your intestinal walls like wet cement. This is about the one drink that acts like an intestinal broom. One glass, and suddenly, years of buildup start moving. But here's what nobody tells you about why it's been sitting there in the first place. The biggest mistake isn't what you're eating, it's what you're not clearing out. Because right now, there's food in your gut from 3 days ago, maybe longer, and it's not supposed to be there. Your intestines are supposed to be a highway, not a storage unit. But modern life turned them into a graveyard. And you can feel it, the bloating, the brain fog, the weight that won't move no matter how clean you eat. That's not stubborn fat, that's intestinal sludge, and it's hijacking everything. Let me explain what's actually happening inside you right now. Your small intestine is about 20 feet long, your large intestine another 5. That's 25 feet of tubing that's supposed to be clean, smooth, moving, but instead, it's coated. Imagine a pipe that's been used for decades without cleaning. There's buildup, residue, gunk stuck to the walls. That's your gut, and every time you eat, you're adding another layer on top of the old one. The food you ate on Monday is still sitting there on Friday, rotting, releasing toxins, feeding the wrong bacteria, and your body is absorbing all of it back into your bloodstream. This is called auto-intoxication. Your own waste is poisoning you from the inside, and the worst part, you don't even know it's happening. You think the afternoon crash is normal. You think the bloating after every meal is just how your body works. You think the skin breakouts are genetic. No, it's your gut. It's been trying to tell you for years, but you've been ignoring the signals. Here's the thing your body does that you never see. When food moves through your intestines, it's supposed to trigger peristalsis. That's the wave-like muscle contraction that pushes everything forward, like a conveyor belt. But peristalsis only works if the intestinal walls are clean and sensitive. When they're coated in old waste, they go numb. The muscles stop contracting properly. Everything slows down, and now you're constipated, even if you're going every day, because going once a day isn't enough if you're eating 3 times a day. Do the math. You're behind, you're backed up, and it's getting worse. And that's not even the mistake causing the most damage. Most people think fiber is the solution, so they load up on oatmeal, whole wheat, beans, and they get more bloated, more gassy, more uncomfortable. Because not all fiber works the same way. There's soluble fiber, which dissolves and feeds bacteria, and there's insoluble fiber, which scrapes and sweeps. What you need right now isn't food for your gut bacteria. It's a broom, something that physically removes the buildup, something that doesn't dissolve, something that grabs the sludge and drags it out. This is where most people get it wrong. They think more food is the answer, more greens, more smoothies, more supplements. But you can't build on top of a clogged foundation. You have to clear it first. Otherwise, you're just adding more weight to an already collapsing system.
The drink I'm about to tell you about isn't a cleanse. It's not a detox tea. It's not some expensive powder. It's one ingredient that's been used for thousands of years, but nobody talks about it anymore because you can't patent it. You can't sell it in a fancy bottle. It's too simple, too cheap, and it works too well. But before I tell you what it is, you need to understand why your gut got this bad in the first place. Because if you don't fix the root cause, you'll just clog up again in a few months. Your gut was designed for a different world, a world where food was fibrous, rough, hard to digest. Your ancestors ate roots, wild plants, tough meat, food that required work, food that naturally scraped the intestines on the way through. But now, everything you eat is soft, processed, pre-broken down. Bread that dissolves in your mouth, pasta that turns to mush, protein shakes that bypass chewing entirely. Your gut doesn't have to work anymore. And when it doesn't work, it weakens. The muscles atrophy, the lining gets lazy, and waste starts sticking. Almost nobody checks this, but the average person is carrying 5 to 20 pounds of fecal matter in their colon at any given time. 5 to 20 pounds. That's not a joke. Autopsies have proven it. People who thought they were healthy, people who ate salads, people who exercised, and when they opened them up, their colons were packed, like a sausage casing stuffed to the limit. Now imagine what that does to your energy. your immune system, your hormones. Because your gut isn't just a trash chute, it's your second brain. It produces 90% of your serotonin. It regulates your immune system. It controls inflammation. And when it's clogged, all of that shuts down. You're not depressed because of your life. You're depressed because your gut is rotting. This sounds healthy, but it's not. People think drinking more water will help. And yes, water's important, but water alone doesn't clear buildup. It just makes the sludge softer. You need something with texture, something with structure, something that acts like a scrub brush, not a rinse. Here's what happens when you drink the intestinal broom. Within 30 minutes, it starts to swell. It absorbs water and expands in your stomach and intestines. And as it moves through, it scrapes. It grabs onto the old sticky waste and pulls it loose. It doesn't dissolve. It doesn't get absorbed. It just moves through like a street sweeper, picking up everything in its path. And within 12 to 24 hours, you start clearing out things that have been sitting there for months, maybe years. Your body reacts very differently than you think. Most people expect this to be violent, painful, urgent, but it's not. It's gentle, natural, because your body recognizes it. Your gut knows what to do with it. And instead of cramping and discomfort, you just feel lighter, clearer, like someone turned the lights back on inside you. So what is it? Psyllium husk. That's it. 1 tablespoon of psyllium husk in a glass of water. Stir it fast, drink it faster, and chase it with another glass of water immediately. If you wait too long, it turns into a gel and you'll be chewing it. But if you do it right, it goes down smooth, tasteless, odorless, and then it goes to work.
Now here's the part that changes everything. This isn't a one-time thing. This is a reset, a deep clean. And once you clear out the old waste, your gut starts functioning the way it's supposed to again. Peristalsis comes back, digestion speeds up, bloating drops, energy returns, your skin clears, your mood stabilizes because you're not being poisoned anymore. But most people stop here. They do the cleanse, they feel amazing, and then they go right back to the same soft, processed, gut-clogging diet. And within a month, they're bloated again, tired again, stuck again, because they didn't change the input. This is where most people get it wrong. They think the drink is the solution. It's not. The drink is the eraser. What you eat after is what writes the new story. And if you keep writing the same garbage, you'll get the same result. Here's what you need to do after the reset. Add roughage, real roughage. Not oat bran, not flax. I'm talking about fibrous vegetables, celery, cabbage, broccoli stalks, the parts you usually throw away, the parts that are hard to chew. Those are the parts that keep your gut clean. Those are the parts that act like a daily broom, preventing buildup before it starts. And here's the kicker. Once your gut is clean, you absorb nutrients better, which means you need less food. You get more energy from smaller meals, your cravings drop, your appetite regulates, because your body isn't starving anymore. It was starving before, even when you were overeating, because the nutrients couldn't get through the sludge. But now they go straight into your bloodstream, and everything changes. Almost nobody checks this, but intestinal buildup is linked to nearly every chronic disease, autoimmune disorders, diabetes, heart disease, cancer. Because when your gut is clogged, toxins leak into your bloodstream. This is called leaky gut, and those toxins trigger inflammation everywhere. Your joints, your brain, your arteries, your organs, and your immune system goes into overdrive trying to fight an enemy it can't find. So it starts attacking you. But when you clear the gut, the inflammation drops, the immune system calms down, and suddenly symptoms you've had for years start disappearing. The joint pain, the headaches, the allergies, the brain fog. They weren't separate problems. They were all symptoms of the same root issue, a clogged, toxic gut. Now let me hit you with something that's going to sound insane, but it's true. Most people are walking around with a gut that's only functioning at 30% capacity. 30%! That means 70% of your digestive system is offline, dormant, coated in waste, and you've just accepted it as normal. You think everyone feels this way. You think low energy and bloating and bad skin are just part of getting older. They're not. They're part of being clogged. And here's the second strongest thing you need to understand. Your gut controls your weight more than your calories do. You can eat perfectly, count every macro, hit the gym 6 days a week, and still not lose weight because your gut microbiome is destroyed. The bad bacteria are outnumbering the good ones, and bad bacteria thrive on sugar and processed food. They literally send signals to your brain to crave more of it. You think you're weak-willed, you think you lack discipline, but it's not you, it's them. The bacteria are controlling you. And as long as your gut is clogged and toxic, they're in charge.
But when you do the intestinal broom, you wipe out a huge portion of the bad bacteria. You clear their food source, you starve them, and the good bacteria get a chance to grow back. And when the good bacteria are in charge, your cravings change. You start wanting real food, vegetables, protein, water, because the good bacteria want you to be healthy. They thrive when you thrive. It's a symbiotic relationship, but you've been feeding the wrong team. This is the part where everything clicks. You realize that the exhaustion, the weight, the cravings, the mood swings, they were never character flaws, they were symptoms. Symptoms of a gut that's been buried under years of waste. And once you clear it, you're not fighting your body anymore, you're working with it. So here's the #1 mistake everyone makes. They wait. They think, I'll start Monday. I'll do it after the holidays. I'll try it eventually. And eventually never comes. Because the longer you wait, the worse it gets. The more layers build up, the more numb your intestines become, and the harder it is to reverse. Your gut isn't going to fix itself. It's not going to magically reset overnight. You have to intervene. You have to take the broom and sweep. And the best time to do it was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. 1 tablespoon, 1 glass of water, 1 decision. That's all it takes to start clearing years of damage. And once you feel the difference, you'll wonder why you waited so long. Your gut is the foundation of everything. Your energy, your immunity, your mood, your weight. And right now, that foundation is cracked and clogged, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And your gut has been trying to tell you something for a very long time. Maybe it's time you finally listened.